What's up, everybody? Welcome into Fantasy Football Office Hours, brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by the esteemed and tenured professor, Joey Wright. Joey, how's it going?
I just beat JL's ass in a game of Fantasy Fortune, so I'm doing spectacular.
Did you like my Shaun of the Gus Edwards one? I was proud of that
I
one.
did. I was upset that I missed the Wally one because it's like, that's my favorite animated movie, but missing Shaun of the Dead would have wrecked me. So I'm glad that I pulled out the W there.
I didn't know for sure that you liked that movie, but I feel like most people I know that like movies like that movie. Know what I mean? Like
Which one? Shaun of the Dead?
Shaun of the Dead. Like my cinephile friends all love Shaun of the Dead, so that was an assumption I made that you liked it, but
yeah, no, the Cornetto trilogy with Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End for my, I think it was like my 20s or 32nd birthday, somewhere in there. When The World's End came out, it actually came out on my birthday, and they did a triple feature. My best friend and I went and saw it in the theater together for 9 hours, or was it like 7 hours? It's great.
We got some questions in here to kick off today's show. If you've never joined us before for Office Hours, we are here doing nothing but answering your fantasy questions. So if you've got them, throw them in the chat, and I might have one for you guys as well before the end of the show. I see Herms and Scamper stopping by in the chat as well. What's up? What's up, Herms? I miss you in the listener league. It's not the same without Herms and Dame in there. Dame had a question for us, though. It is the last week before the playoffs in Scott Fish Bowl, so this is that big push to make it. Wants to know if we prefer Zay Jones or Boyd playing tonight in the Scott Fish Bowl. I think I'm going to go with Zay Jones over Tyler Boyd. Even though T. Higgins is still out, this Ravens pass defense has been top 5 in most metrics over the past couple of weeks. They are shutting down opposing quarterbacks, and this Bengals pass game, they've tried to get it going. They've been leaning on it because the run hasn't been working, but I just see Tyler Boyd getting shut down tonight.
Didn't Zay Jones get arrested this week?
Did he get arrested this week?
Yeah, I think so. So I don't know if he's going to be able to be on the field unless they're playing it at the courthouse or something. I don't know. Am I wrong on that?
No, I'm looking to see. He returns to practice. So he was back at practice on Wednesday. Nothing has happened yet. These usually take time to process whenever things like that happen. So I would imagine Zay Jones is still playing this weekend. Oh,
I would go
also
Boyd.
Change the question. Scamper's letting us know. They're both tonight. It's Zay Flowers or Tyler Boyd. It's Zay Flowers.
We should have sniffed that out.
Yeah, we really should have sniffed that out. Our deductive reasoning skills are lacking on this Thursday.
Yeah, Friday's almost here. I would be Zay Flowers for me. I think he's the wide receiver 1 on the Ravens, as well as listen, the Bengals, they don't have the pass defense that the Ravens do. So it'd be Zay Flowers for me.
It's been the Bengals pass defense has been better over the past couple weeks, but it's still not anywhere near what the Ravens are putting out on the field. Herms in here said, I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. Herms, you did try so hard, and you did make it pretty far. 5 teams left. We'll see who comes out on top. Dame has another question for us. Says, half PPR need 1 from Saquon going up against Washington, Derrick Henry against Jacksonville, Jordan Addison against Denver, or Hollywood against Houston. Joey, I don't know about you, but Hollywood is jumping out at me as the guy that I want to be starting. I'm happy that Kyler Murray's back. I love this matchup against the Houston team that's been chucking the ball around a ton too. This could be a shootout that nobody would have picked out as a shootout looking at the schedule at the beginning of the season. Houston, Arizona. So it's tough playing him over Addison, but I think that's where I'm going. What about you?
I'm going to go with Derrick Henry against Jacksonville. I went with King Henry, and I like Hollywood a lot this week, and I don't think Justin Jefferson's coming back this week, so I do think Addison will be the number 1 receiver there in Minnesota, but it's still Henry for me.
The reports on Jefferson are a little confusing. They're saying they're going to try to potentially get him on the field this weekend. Both him and Achane, I'm very curious to see if we see them this weekend.
Can we talk about JJ for a second?
Yeah, let's hit it.
The Vikings have a week 13 bye. If he doesn't come back this week, why are they going to bring him back week 12? I traded for Justin Jefferson in a league, and my league mates got heated about it. And I said, listen, we don't really know if he's going to come back. And the argument was, well, you traded for him the week before he's supposed to come back. And it's like, no, that's when he can come back. But, I was lucky I had a 9-1 record, so I was able to make that trade. But
That's the luxury of that. I picked him up in the Guillotine League, and I'm sitting on him. Our last week is going to be week 14, and that might be the only week I get to play Justin Jefferson. But that's part of having a player like that right now. His value.
Is that the last week of the Guillotine League? Week 14?
The Guillotine League is week 14.
Wow. Okay.
We got another question in here from Dylan.
Okay.
Dylan, hey, yo. 3 questions and a start sit. We'll start with the start sit. 1 running back in full PPR, Jerome Ford, James Conner, or Devin Singletary off of his boom week. Joey, which way you rolling here?
I'm probably going to go James Conner. I'm just re-verifying that. Yeah, I got Conner and Singletary back to back, and then Jerome Ford is lower than them. Yeah, so it's my reasoning was right. Yeah, James Conner against Houston. Yeah, I like that matchup for him.
And that's close. I think I'll roll. You got running backs on both sides of the ball in that game. I'll roll with Devin Singletary on the Houston side.
And that's fine for me because I'm back to back. So
yeah, they're both super close. Mr. Scampers wants to know Lamar or Dak. Dak playing a bit like an MVP right now. He's looking good out there on the field. Lamar also looking incredibly good, though the fantasy numbers haven't quite been there, though he's playing some of the best football of his career. Joey, which way you rolling?
He is. The matchup's tough for Lamar, though, and Lamar struggled in tough matchups. He's had these great weeks against pretty weak secondaries. Panthers don't have that. They're pretty good against the pass. So it's going to be Lamar Jackson for me.
Lamar Jackson. You said Dak. Sorry, did you mean Dak is struggling against bad defenses?
No, Lamar. Against good
against good defenses.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it'll be Lamar for me. I don't want to get too cute. Love what I'm seeing out of Dak, but after this week, all systems go on Dak. But this week, I'll still stick with Lamar.
These are both top 5 guys for me, and I'll roll Dak Prescott out there, tiebreaker, just avoiding the Thursday night player coming off a short week. That's really going to be the only difference because they're both top 5 guys for me. Dylan had a trade question, wants to know, I'm trying to figure out if it's worth losing some depth to boost my starting lineup a tad. Offer to trade Andrews, Mixon, James Cook for Travis Kelce and Josh Jacobs. So, Joey, would you be doing that?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm making that move
the 2 best players in the trade.
Travis Kelce and Josh Jacobs. That's a no-brainer for me, Dylan. I love the way that's constructed if the other person will do that one. Mm-hmm. And this is the time of year. I always talk about it. As the season goes on, you start consolidating because you need a little bit of luck to win a fantasy championship, and the amount of luck you need gets smaller and smaller as the year goes on. You just need 1 more week without an injury, right? 4 more weeks, 3 more weeks, 2 more weeks. So as we approach the playoffs, trade that depth away. Sometimes it comes in handy, but that's how I like to play. I like to go into the playoffs with a freaking glass cannon. This is my team, and if they get injured, I'm screwed, but I've got a superstar team. Mm-hmm. Scampers in here wants to know half PPR, need 1, maybe 2 out of Curtis Samuel versus the Giants, Royce Freeman versus Seattle, and Gabe Davis versus the New York Jets. Joey, which 1, maybe 2 would you be starting?
I would put Gabe Davis. It would be Samuel, Davis, Freeman would be the order of the players for me. So in that order, that's how I would start them.
It's exactly the same for me, Joey. It would be Curtis Samuel first, followed by Gabe Davis, followed by Royce Freeman. Victor wants to know start one for tonight's game. Barbecue wings, buffalo chicken sliders, or carne asada tacos. It's nice out in the Midwest to grill. Victor coming with the real question.
Man.
I know what I'm answering. Go ahead, Joe.
Can I guess what you're going to answer?
Yeah.
You're going to say carne asada tacos.
I am not going to say
whoa. Okay.
Because if I'm going to get those, I'm not going to make them myself. Know what I mean? Like there's a million places near me where I can get them 10 times better than I could ever make those. I'm making some buffalo chicken sliders is what I'm making. Get that chicken nice and fried up. There's some buffalo sauce, maybe some blue cheese on
That'd
there.
That'd be my second choice. I had wings last week. So
you going with wings?
Yeah. No, I had wings last week, so I'll take sliders tonight.
Menace wants to know, would you trade Kenneth Walker, Devonta Smith, and Josh Downs for Rachaad White and Jalen Waddle? I'm keeping the Kenneth Walker, Devonta Smith, Josh Downs side of this. I think it's a big downgrade from Walker to Rachaad White.
On Devonta Smith, he's been disappointing this year. However, last year when Devonta Smith really, really turned it on is when Dallas Goedert got injured. Dallas Goedert is once again injured. Devonta Smith can eat up some targets. I expect him and A.J. Brown to kind of get closer, just like last year in the amount of targets they're getting per game. I am super high on Devonta Smith the rest of the season, so I'm going to hold on to him.
Herms in here said, not a question, really just a gripe.
Okay.
Tonight's game is deeply annoying for me as a Steelers fan, given that the Ravens and Bengals are by far my least favorite teams ever. I wish they could both lose. Herms, this is inadvertently such a sweet thing to say to the other member of the AFC North that was nicely left out of that, the Cleveland Browns. So that means there's at least two teams you hate more than the Browns. And Victor said, Buffalo chicken sliders and curly fries. It is. Yeehaw! Enjoy dinner, Victor. I'll be there around 7. So make sure you save some for me. Dylan wants to capitalize on Trey McBride's value. It's Joe. You and I were just talking about a little bit earlier. Yes. He said, planning to move McBride's value on my bench after Kelsey because he's got no more bye week. So would you rather package Pollard McBride to upgrade the running back room to pair with Jacobs on my team, or package McBride with a Hollywood Ayuk to try and go get a top tier wide receiver?
In your situation, I am not letting Hollywood Ayuk go. They both have incredible rest of season schedules.
Yeah.
Hold on to them. Absolutely trade Trey McBride away from your team because people are paying a king's ransom for him right now. The idea of putting McBride and Pollard, go see if you can get ETN. Go see if you can get Josh Jacobs. I like that a lot for your team, Dylan.
That's exact. And ETN is the exact name I was going to say, Joey. Like ETN seems like that tier of player where maybe people haven't wised up to just quite how good of a season he's having right now. And you might be able to sneak that with Pollard and McBride to grab that.
But Hollywood and Ayuk are starters for me rest of the season. This week, Ayuk's the top 10 wide receiver for me.
I was debating I was debating which players on my team as we're approaching the trade deadline are ones that I want to capitalize on their value, and I'm with you, Joey. Ayuk's one that's just going to stay on the teams that I have him on. I'm just going to be holding him. Eric wants to know, half PPR, rank these three on who you start this week: Ty Chandler, Raheem Mostert, or James Conner. So Mostert was questionable. I believe did not practice on Wednesday or was a limited participant. And then there's rumors of Devon Achane coming back. Joey, how are you ranking these players?
Mostert, Conner, Chandler.
Yeah. Even with the uncertainty around Mostert, I feel like he has to be at the top. Chandler's got to be at the bottom for me, and James Conner, as usual, ends up just somewhere in the middle. Scamper says, in Scott Fishbowl, Zay Flowers, Gabriel Davis, or DTR versus Pitt. So this is in that super flex spot. They did announce that DTR was going to be the starting quarterback for the Browns, not PJ Walker. Joey, what's it going to be for you?
So I wish I had Zay Flowers as an option to start over DTR. I am starting DTR in Scott Fishbowl this week. It would be Zay Flowers for me.
Zay Flowers for you over Mr. Gabe Davis?
Yeah, I mean, Davis has a tough matchup against the Jets. And Gabe Davis, what's been good about his boom bust weeks this season is his booms have been against teams that are not very good against the pass. So it's kind of like we've seen it coming. And then his busts have been against teams that are good against pass. And right now the Buffalo Bills look like they're struggling. So, yeah.
Scampers wants to know, when was the last time a king got ransomed? Looking into it. Let us know what you find.
The last time I remember is the Disney Robin Hood. That's probably the last time I remember.
Oh, I remember the Disney Robin Hood. Created a generation of furries, that movie did. Eric in here said, I have Dobbs, Herbert, and Fields. Those are some sexy foxes in Robin
Dude, I know
Hood.
exactly what you were thinking. That's
Robin Hood is hot, and the lady fox in that movie is also hot.
Hey, Marion, like,
ooh, yeah. And Friar Tuck, don't even get me started, baby. Eric in here said, I have Dobbs, Herbert, and Fields in a one quarterback league somehow. What do I do? Records is 7-3.
You start Herbert. That's what you do.
Start Herbert, hold Fields, see if you can trade Dobbs to a quarterback needy team. Fields, I'm holding on to because before he got hurt, it looked like they were starting to capture something with him and DJ Moore. And if that is the case, I want Fields when he's healthy.
Yeah, and this week it's Herbert for me. I mean, Fields this week, he's got Detroit. Detroit's defense has played really well.
They've been great.
They're really good against the run. So go ahead.
I said they've been great. I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's Herbert for me as well, but I'm holding Fields. Dobbs is the odd one out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, can I ask you a question?
Oh my God, Simon, I've been waiting for this. Yes, I will marry you.
Okay. I'll have to let Leanne know. And with that, guys, that's going to be, I'm just kidding. No, I had a fantasy question for you, Joey. My question, and I've been debating back and forth all week. Mm-hmm. I just keep going back and forth. Full PPR. Joe Mixon tonight or Christian Kirk against the Titans?
Oh, Christian Kirk.
That's where I'm leaning. That's who I have in my lineup right now. But it feels like Joe Mixon's a little bit safer and that they're going to have to run the ball against this Ravens team.
My heart says Kirk. Let me tell you what my head is worried about is that they get Calvin Ridley a little bit more involved because they didn't go out and just get Calvin Ridley for nothing. And he's kind of been nothing. He's not been what we expected him to be the last few weeks. Yeah. Coming out of their bye, they might get Ridley more involved. Still, Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk have something together. They had it last year. They have it this year. I'm going to stick with Kirk. They might have a baby together.
They have a baby together. And his name is Donald Lawrence Jones. He's beautiful. 8 pounds, 17 ounces. I believe that makes him 9 pounds. Really long flowing hair. And his first word was zzz, like a bug. All right. Unless we have any more questions, I think that is going to be it for office hours today. Thanks to everybody in the chat who stopped by and asked us. Best of luck in your week 11 matchups. Joey, any parting words before we jump off today?
I like that we got the Trey McBride question because that's been like my little mantra this week. If you've got Trey McBride, if you were lucky enough to pick him up the waiver wire or you drafted him even, see what you can get for him right now because tight end needy teams are definitely paying up for him. And I don't know what it is. I mean, it's 2 out of 3 good games. So go ahead and trade Trey McBride away from your teams.
Just make sure you avoid the tight end gremlins like me. I will not trade you for a tight end. I'll just start the scraps off the waiver wire before I go spend money on a Trey McBride. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, adios. Enjoy week 11. Thank you, everyone, and so long.
Bye.